What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Dimensional Shards, now that all the ways to farm them have been added to the game, and talk about, how you can efficiently maximize that and give you guys some of my farming tips for getting the most possible Dimensional Shards. So for this guide, we're going to take it back to the very basics. There are 4 tiers of Dimensional Shards, ranging from tier 1 to tier 4, and they unlock different kind of difficulties of Rift, ranging from beginner to master. Now, the higher you go, the better the rewards, and especially in the tier 3 and tier 4 ones, the rewards are absolutely crazy. However, it's definitely worth farming the lower tier shards, as completing a lower tier rift actually gives you 5,000 shards for the tier above. So as you can imagine, you can quickly escalate the difficulty of rifts that you're doing. So just to give you an idea, guys, like 8 tier 1 rifts, that translates then into 4 tier 2 rifts, which then translate into 2 tier 3 rifts, and then translates into 1 tier 4 rift. So you've kind of got to look at it that way, that even though the tier 1 and tier 2 rifts, you might see them as not giving very worthwhile rewards, especially to some of the endgame players, they are definitely worth farming for, because you're going to get these shards quite quickly to unlock tier 3 and tier 4 rifts, which have amazing rewards, especially the tier 4 rifts. The rewards are absolutely insane. So let's just have a quick look at the true cost infographic there. Again, gives you all the details, and as a reminder, guys, you never want to buy the crystals. Very, very important. Cannot stress that enough. But once you, again, it's clearly displaying here. If you open a crystal, you only get 2,500 shards for the next rift, but if you do the rift, you get 5,000. So guys, if you're opening the crystals, you are playing yourself by getting less shards for the next rift, and also you get the tier below rewards. It's just not hype at all. But let's look at some of those sweet rewards for the tier 3 and tier 4. Again, everything great that you could want in the game. Fully formed 4 and 5-star champions, awakening gems, class catalyst, tons of 5-star fragments. For just doing the tier 4 one, instead of fragments for the next tier, you actually get a guaranteed 500 4-star shards. So that's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. Now, anyway, let's go back into the game, guys. Let's talk about how you get these shards. Now, the very obvious way, which everybody knows, is by 100%ing Sorcerer's Conclave on any difficulty. You get the shards associated with that difficulty. So for beginner, this is probably one of the events where it might be worth doing, even for veteran players, 100%ing beginner and normal, if you do have the time and additional energy to spare, because again, guys, it just does help bolster up the rifts. You're going to get more fragments and just keep on building up to those better rewards. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 100% heroic. If you 100% any difficulty, you get a guaranteed rift associated with that difficulty. So it's probably worthwhile doing for the majority of players. Again, if you do have the time and resource to 100% all of the events, it is something that I'm going to be doing over the 30 days. 30 days is a very long time, so we got plenty of time to do that. And I'm pretty much 100% heroic already, and I'm 50% through master mode, so it's going pretty well. Now let's talk about the new ways that have been added in the last couple of days, which are the solo events and also the alliance events. So you got 2 different types of solo events. You got the 22-hour ones, which for most people on most events, it's quite achievable to reach 100% on that one, especially when it comes to the hero use event and the level up event. So in this event, you want to be really, really smart about saving all your leveling for the days on the solo events where they have the leveling up event, and that's very, very important. And then what do you have? The arena runs. So it's level up, arena runs, event quest completion, and what is the final one? Oh yeah, it's just the general hero use one. So in my opinion, 3 out of 4 of them are quite easy to do, and the event quest completion one is a little bit annoying. But anyway, the maximum rewards you can get, guys, as you're gonna see in a little bit of a second, is well, if you add up all the milestones, so getting to the 5th milestone, it's 600. So that's 600 every day throughout the event, and the event's lasting another 30 days. So I'm just going to quickly get out my spreadsheet and show you guys all the math. So the maximum you can get, and these are tier 2 shards, might I add, is 1,800, which is pretty good. However, this kind of also does tie into the alliance events as well, which the alliance events have 6 milestones instead of 5, and a lot of alliances, especially in the end game, can reliably hit that 6th milestone. I know mine does on pretty much every event apart from the arena runs and arena completion ones. So it's going to be over the 30 days, guys. There are 10 events, so that's going to be a possible of 30,500 shards. So I think from kind of these events, what I'm looking at doing as well is, I think it's an achievable goal, because I'm well aware that I'm going to miss out on some days, you know, on some milestones some days. I don't think it's, well, it is possible if you're like super hardcore to get every milestone on every day, but I think, you know, that's unachievable. And what I'm going to be aiming for is throughout all the events to piece together 40,000 shards, because that is 4 of the tier 2 rifts, which equate to, you know, 2 of the tier 3 rifts, and then that's going to be 1 tier 4 rift. So that's kind of what I'm aiming to get out of these events, because, you know, that's some pretty dope rewards. And then you've also got, you know, if you're lacking behind, guys, you have the 7-hour events, which you can also do to, again, bolster your shards and gain additional rewards. But between those alliance events and the 22-hour ones, you know, you do have about 8,500 shards slack, which again you can make up in the 7-hour events. But one of the quite important things, I guess, to bear in mind and keep track of is just try and make sure you're pushing for that final milestone on a lot of the events, because that does make up a huge amount of the fragments. So guys, play smart with exactly what you need to do in the next 30 days, kind of allocate it to certain days. I don't think there's any way you can predict the 22-hour event schedule, but for the Alliance event, 3-day ones, they just rotate. So it's kind of one of those things in the Alliance where you're just going to need to pull together, guys. If you want to get those sweet shards and get the nice rewards, you're going to have to work as a team. So hopefully a lot of Alliances already do it, but it's something you can hopefully entice your Alliance to step up their game, because this is just a bonus, guys. It's a huge bonus on top of rewards that we are already getting, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, the other things that I think we should probably point out as well is that while I'm not really factoring these into the equations, if you actually get to the ranked rewards, you can get tier 3 fragments. So those are pretty good. Again, with the solo events, you're not really going to get that many unless you score quite high, but it is a little bit of an incentive, you know, if you are a really hardcore grinder, to just push the limit, and you can get rewarded quite nicely. So what is it? So there's 30 days. I'd say it's pretty achievable, you know, if you are a hardcore grinder, to get probably into the top 10%, you know, if you're super hardcore. So how many would that be? 200 times 36,000. So yeah, you could potentially open another rift if you have to go hardcore, but I just don't really think that's worth doing, to be honest. It's a little bit too much to get into the top 1 to 10% every day. So it's personally something that, you know, I'm not really going to be bothering with. I'm just going to worry about hitting a lot of as many milestones as I can in every event apart from event quest completion. I'll probably hit a few in event quest completion, but it's one of my weaker events, just because it involves so much grinding in certain event quests. They really up the cutoff. But the level up one is you just got to save up your rank ups. For the hero use one, you just have to like play the game quite a bit during that day, and the arena one is really easy to do once you've got a large roster, so I'm not going to have too much problem with that. And let's have a look at the ranked rewards for the Alliance event, guys. There are actually some pretty decent bundles of shards that you can quite easily get your hands on. So this one's a little more lucrative, a little more enticing to actually go for. So if your Alliance is going hard this week, you can get rewarded, but with quite a nice bundle. You know, there's 1,000 up for grabs. We usually rank in the top 6 to 15% in like completion, so that's pretty good. But still, you know, even if you don't rank that high, like the minimum rewards for making the cutoff is 250 free tier 3 fragments, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then the final way, guys, which you know, I might as well mention, let's just go back, is just to log in the game every day for the next 4 weeks at least. I believe the reward schedule is going to be replaced with tier 1 fragments. So, you know, you already have that at the moment if you've been logging in and playing. But every week, it's actually, it's 12,500 fragments, so that equates to about 50,000 over the entire course of the event. So that is pretty good. That's pretty good, combined with kind of all the other little nooks and crannies that you get them in. I think by the end of the event, it's probably going to be, for the average player that's daily active, is doing all the stuff, it's quite possible that you could open, like, I think 3 tier 4 rifts. But maybe if you're a bit of a hardcore grinder, you might be able to get, 4 or 5 maybe, for the really hardcore grinders. I think the average person, it's a little bit difficult doing all the maths of all the tiers of shards, but I think the average person is probably going to open 3, but if you're really, really hardcore and you're doing all of the stuff, really pushing for those cutoffs, you could possibly get quite a few. So that's it's looking pretty good. And also the tier 3 rifts, guys, they are nothing to shake a stick at. They give some really, really good rewards. So anyway, guys, this for this, a lot of you, you know, this might be stuff that you already know, but I hope that my insight is, you know, giving you a little bit more motivation or knowledge to successfully grind these fragments, because it's gonna be a long month, but hopefully a very, very rewarding one. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, guys, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.